Hello and welcome to the Gold Newsletter. My name is Kai Hoffmann. I'm the @JRMining Guy on Twitter and your host. Thank you so much for joining us for this breaking news special. We have Brad Rourke of Scottie Resources joining us here in a second again. And the company had some fantastic news out this morning. 26.9 grams over 4 meters from the blueberry zone. A fantastic result. And he's going to give us some more color on it. Brad, it's great to see you again on the program. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Kai. Good to see you. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, let's recap the press release. You put out a few holes today. Obviously, the highlight hole I just mentioned, but that also includes 3 grams of gold over 9 meters, which is quite respectable. Run us through the highlights of the press release this morning.
Sure. So the headline news, we're quite happy. I mean, what it tells us is that the model's holding in. It's not really close to any other hole. It's a little bit deeper. When I say deeper, I mean, it's still I believe it's about 250 meters at vertical depth. So still quite shallow, but we're just drilling off last year and just trying to build this model and yeah, business is it's going well. So we're happy with that. And yeah, it's a good number and, hopefully more to come.
Yeah, no, put some context around it. Like if you were to compare them with the other holes and how it all works together at Blueberry, how does that hole fit in terms of grade, length, vein density, things like that?
Sure. So this kind of was above a hole that we went really deep and below some holes east west. It's just to frame it in your mind. It was just a gap in the data and so we popped a hole in there. So it's nice to see that, but it is on that northern end of the Blueberry where we're seeing lots of these bigger 1 ounce type intercepts. But yeah, just because it's exciting. It'll give us another 5 drill targets just off that hole. And again, only being 250 meters from depth, there's just so much information we don't have because there's just so few drilling in the area. So again, we're excited. It's what we wanted to see, and lo and behold, it's just I think when we put out a long section, I did get a few. Well, where's the long section? Because all we did was long section. And everyone wanted cross section, so we put a cross section out. But I think with our next news release, we'll put it into a little bit more context with a long section. And when you see how it reacts with some other big bonanza type holes, again, it can get you excited from a technical point of view.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, the Blueberry Zone is extremely exciting. Like I've been to site just recently and we had a chance to visit and understand topography, but also geology there as well. This is only the beginning of results coming out now. Like run us through the program, like where are we at in terms of assay turnarounds and how many holes are pending?
Well, we probably put out 4,000 now of a total of 20,000 meters. So about 2,000 meters a news release, trying to keep consistent news over a longer period of time. Things are starting to trickle in now, and we never get whole holes in one. You throw all these bags into the assay labs, and we get a partial here, partial there. So yeah, we're kind of already working to put context. We want to have a group of holes in the same sort of area. So I think that's what you can expect to see next, and yeah, hopefully the market starts caring about these things. But I mean, internally and operationally, we're very excited about it. And if you've been following the story over the last couple of years, it's meaningful just how it reacts with the other intercepts we've had from 100 meters over there and 100 meters over there and such. So yeah, a lot more to come. I think on Blueberry, we've only released Blueberry holes so far. We do have some stock work holes to come, about 1,500 meters, and also on the Scottie Gold Mine as well. So we don't have those back yet, but things are starting to trickle in, of course, and so probably be a little bit more regular with our news in the future.
Fantastic. Yeah, no, you're definitely adding some more meat to the bone here at Blueberry. Since you mentioned you're filling in gaps here, like, are you working towards a resource, and when can we expect it?
Well, one of the exercises we did this year is we drilled off a mining block, and not in the northern end. I know if I was cagey, I would have done it in the northern end because it is certainly my highest grades. But we kind of went into the middle of the deposit, what we felt was most representative of what we see, and we drilled the mining block off. And we don't have those results back, and we'll probably get those into January. But in our hopes that they come out well, and then that'll be a proxy us to be able to articulate, okay, well, if we want a resource, it's going to take this many meters to get to this many ounces. Again, we would never entertain it unless it was at least 1,000,000 ounces, and stay tuned. So just drilling that mining block off, we did that for the simple reason of going just so we could articulate reasonable amount of meters to get to an X amount of a deposit.
No,
so I think stay tuned on that. That's a piece of information that we look forward to seeing, because we just don't have the answer to it. And then from there, we'll be able to extrapolate if it is a resource that we want, because we haven't found the ends of this thing yet. We'll be able to articulate it's going to take this many meters, this much dollars, and we'll make that decision in the next couple of months if that's what 2024 will bring. But we'll have that optionality for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I read a number somewhere that you've, with completion of this program, you've only drilled 40,000 meters into Blueberry. And that is quite significant already. Like, of course, internally, you must have done a bit of math and looked at some things here, of course, to see if it makes sense, whether the price is worth chasing, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And yeah, we're excited. It's overachieving on what our expectations were. Perhaps we were 2 years ago, but yeah, Blueberry's real, and it's exciting. Again, on surface, really, you were there. It's just drive right up to it. The drills are on the road. So theoretically, when it gets to that next stage, it's pretty easy ore to get to.
Yeah. Well, since I have you, Brad, I might as well ask you about the region. Of course, it's, what is it now, October 12th here. I'm sure everybody's now done for the winter. Has everybody packed up in the region yet? And how's it looking with your neighbors, Ascot? I'm just curious if you can comment.
Well, Ascot's working on that tailings facility, and that, I think, is the most where all their efforts are going right now, because they've sorry about that. Although I look at the stock price of Ascot today, and it's like, wow, what a buy, I would believe. So they haven't drilled a whole bunch in the last couple of years, but that mill's ready to go. They just need to connect the hoses and the wires and make sure that facility's the tailings facility. I think that's the biggest challenge for Derek right now. And, but I mean, you saw it, and I've got to see they're working really hard, and I hear they're putting in a new camp right now as we speak in the town of Stewart. So they're moving forward, even though nothing's happening on the, if you look at the chart. So we're really for them.
No, interesting. Like, curious to see how that develops as well over the winter, because the winters are quite harsh out in Stewart too. So.
Yeah, they're, where Ascot is perhaps not as challenging as we are, because our elevation's a little bit higher. But yeah, they can work year round there. I mean, Skeena does it, and it just costs more money. That's all.
Just the money thing.
They only have 10 kilometers of road from the town of Stewart to plow. They have all the equipment up there, as you saw, and so I don't think that's weather's not an issue for them, and right now, and I haven't heard of any huge, great snowfalls at the moment. So, like I said, they're installing a camp in the town of Stewart for, I believe, right now. So yeah, they're moving forward.
No, fantastic.
They're doing the work. Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. Brad, just to put a bow around it, you're attending Deutsche Goldmesse here in about 6 weeks, November 24th and 25th in Frankfurt. Do you expect any more news to come out beforehand? Any more drill results? What's the plan?
I do, yeah, of course. We come to your show, and then there's a couple other shows in Europe that we're attending, and yeah, obviously we'll put kind of feed the market with news. And right now I'm not itching to get stuff out next week because the market just doesn't care. So what we put out today is just to let people know we're alive, and but certainly there'll be a lot of news here in the next 3-4 weeks before we go on a marketing trip for sure.
Fantastic. Brad, thank you so much for your time. Exciting results. Really looking at Blueberry shaping up here to a decent sized deposit. Really looking forward to seeing more. Thanks so much for coming on.
Awesome. Thanks for your time, Kai.
Absolutely. Everybody else, thank you so much for joining us here on Gold Newsletter. We just had a breaking news special with Brad Rourke of Scottie Resources. If you have any questions about the company, about our format, put them in the comments below. Engage with us. We do want to hear from you. This is not just a one-way street. Hit that like button as well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button too. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll have lots more updates for you coming soon.